Got cussed out today because I wouldn't pay for a stranger's groceries. Where do you draw the line with charity? I was at Kmart earlier today, picking up something for work. I was standing at the checkout line with a few other people I don't know. At the front of the line was a woman buying a 12-pack of beer, some bananas, a Hunger Games DVD, and some Halloween candy. After the cashier rung her up, the woman realized she was short $11, and instead of putting something back, she turned around and asked the rest of us in line to pony up the $11, to be charitable. When nobody handed over the money, the woman began cussing us all out. You call yourselves ducking Christians? Where's your charity? Apples. With that she left her groceries at checkout, and stormed out of the store. See, if this woman were buying baby formula or diapers, and was $1 or $2 short, and displayed a bit of humility, I would have no problem handing it over. This woman was expecting everybody else to put their needs aside, and to just fork over the money, for a case of beer and a teeny bopper movie, no less. I've helped out a mother trying to buy a pizza dinner for her 3 kids. They looked really hungry, and the mom was short maybe $10. She was frantically looking around in her purse and pockets, trying to come up with the cash. I gave her a 20 and told her to buy some breadsticks and sodas too. Her look of gratitude is something I'll never forget. On the other hand, I was once in some clothing store with my girlfriend. I don't remember which one. They all kind of blend together in my mind. When a teenage girl walked up to me and demanded $10 so she could buy some lipstick. I refused. So she ran to her mother, who basically chewed me out for refusing her precious baby. So basically, I won't give any charity to entitled souls. Who are these people? I can't imagine going up to a complete stranger demanding money. What the duck? Once in line with my 2 kids, buying groceries midday in a nice place, the lady behind me interrupted the cashier asking if I found everything okay, with a loud, "How about buying my groceries?" When I kindly replied that I was sorry, but the kids practically ate me out of house and home, as it was at their age, she started her own ongoing monologue throughout my checkout, about how I owed it to her for slavery, and other things. She finished with the polite goodbye of, "Don't worry, we gonna take what you owe us one way or another. You think you safe? We coming for you, Karathas." Had I not already sent the kids to get water to avoid her earlier taunts, I might have had to address such a threat with them, but luckily I was able to walk away, and remember not to shop there in the future. I was in Chicago a few years ago, with my husband, my daughter, and her fiance. We went to Giordano's for pizza. Anyway, we ordered way too much food, and the pizza, when it arrived, was like 2-inch thick. We'd had so many starters that we could only eat 1 piece each of the 2 pizzas, so we got to-go boxes. As we were walking along, this woman came up and told us she was really hungry, and could we help her out by giving her some money. Well, we didn't have any cash on us, but we did have this lovely still warm pizza. We offered her one of the to-go boxes, but she got all insulted and told us she didn't want our ducking pizza, she wanted money. We told her to duck off, and went and found a homeless guy who was more than happy to take our pizza, and thanked us profusely while enjoying a slice. ETA. We were well aware she just wanted to buy some drugs/booze, that's why we told her to duck off. I remember about 10 years ago, I had just moved to a new city for college, and I was definitely a starving student. I had a budget of $40 per week for food and transportation, and that was it. Anyway, one evening I'm walking from class to the bus stop, and I see a kid sitting in an alcove begging passers-by for money. A few things. He had a nice bike, new shoes, I had neither, and expensive sunglasses. So he sees me and asks if I have some spare change. Feeling charitable, I reach into my wallet, and I see that I have $22, 2 singles and a 20. I take out the 2 singles and pass them to him, and he says, "Oh, you aren't giving me the 20? At which point I took the 2 singles back, stuck them in my wallet, pocketed it, and walked off, while this moochy asshole says something akin to, "Come on. That's not cool. Can I please have the $2? Beggars can't be choosers has never felt more appropriate. As a general rule, I never give money. I might give someone a bottle of water or some food if they look like they need it, but never money. I was getting a prescription one night from Walgreens. I worked late, and this was a 24-hour one, so I usually bustle inside around midnight after work and try not to talk to the people hanging around outside. An old skinny guy was sitting on the sidewalk, homeless, and on my way out he calls to me and says he is hungry. So hungry, he just wanted to eat, but the only thing open was McDonald's, and just his drive-thru. He didn't have a car. I don't know why, but I asked him what he wanted, and he said a Big Mac with no lettuce and a Coke with no ice. I told him I'd get it for him. Surprisingly, he tried to hand me a ton of change for my trouble, which I refused. I wasn't going to give him a ride. I just went and got it and came back, since my kiddies was right across the road. When I came back and handed him a bag of food, having gotten a few bottles of water for him too, he didn't say, "God bless you" or anything I feel homeless people usually try to say. He just said, "I didn't think you would come back." And he had tears in his eyes. Then he wished me a good night and sat down to eat. No regrets. Since when does being charitable mean buying beer, DVDs, and candy? Hi, I'm with the Beer, Movies, and Candy Foundation, and I just wanted you to know, for the low price of $5 a day you can ensure one unfortunate person who has to go without necessities such as beer, movies, and candy, will be provided with enough beer, movies, and candy that they may find the strength to carry on. You can make a difference in someone's life right now by calling 1-800-BEER-ME and making a donation. I was at work a while back at a major retailer in the deep south. I had a gentleman come in and ask me about a laptop. The laptop cost $899. I explained the specs, gave him the lowdown on the warranty, etc. He let me wrap up my spiel and looked at me and said, "I'll give you $400 for it." This happens a lot, so I patiently informed him that this was impossible for me to do, and I do not designate prices. He looked at me and said, "Well, you just lost yourself a computer sale," and left. I wish it ended there. I got off and was walking to my car, and as I got there, a truck comes flying into the parking lot, and it's this same gentleman as before. He whips into the parking spot next to mine and gets out. My metaphorical hackles were raised, because this guy was driving so aggressively. He gets out and slams his door, and walks over to me. He looks at me and says, "You'll sell that laptop to me for $300, or I'm going to get you fired for racism." I answered him and just said, "Sir, I have no idea who you are, and I have no intention of selling you anything at all. I'm not even on the clock. If you have an issue, go into the store and ask for a manager." He swore explosively that his intimidation factor didn't work, and went into the store. I drove home and forgot about it. I get to work the next day, and find out he was arrested for trying to steal the shelf display. Feels good man. JPEG. I was eating some bagels with a few of my friends, when a homeless man approached and asked for money to buy food. We had a bag of day-olds that my friend bought, so we offered him his choice of those bagels. He looked at the bagels and said, "I don't want your ducking bagels. I want cash." We told him we didn't have any cash on us, but would be more than happy to share the food we had with him. He just stared at me for a few seconds, and then started yelling profanities at me for not giving him money. I just told him that beggars can't be choosers, and that if he's not going to accept what we offer him, then he has no right to be upset about anything. Then the rest of the people eating on the patio took my side, and basically told him to get out of there, because none of them were going to give him a dime after that outburst. A while back after I lost my job, I was starving and went to the grocery store for just a few cheap things to last me a couple of days. At the register my card got declined. I apologized to the cashier and tried not to seem upset, because I could have sworn I had a few dollars in the bank. The woman in line behind me told me to grab the food and that she'd pay for it. I thanked her and she replied, "You look like someone who would do the same if you could." And I hope that one day you will. Amazed by her kindness and how good it made me feel for a stranger to help me out while I was at my lowest, I promised myself I'd do the same. Once I got a new job, I was leaving work one day, and an older man in a wheelchair asked if I had any money for food. We were outside a sandwich shop, and I offered to go in and buy him whatever he'd like to eat. He told me to duck off, and rolled away into the night. TLDR, dude, I tried. I found a wallet with $200 and several gift cards while I was at work one day. It was a UGO wallet, so I figured some kid lost his birthday money. I turned it into the service desk and forgot about it. 30 days later, no one had claimed it, so I got to keep it. I was telling my friend about my good luck, and a friend of hers, not a friend of mine, says, "You should give me $20. I asked her why. "'Cause I never punched you in the face all those times you were a bitch to me." It should be noted that I have always been kind to this extremely unpleasant girl, even when she was squatting my living room for several weeks. I had a mother approach me with her two kids a few months ago. She asked for some change, and I gave her a few bills. She thanked me, and then her daughter looked up and said something to the effect of, "I guess we can eat tonight." It took me 2 seconds to decide on what I needed to do. I took them grocery shopping. I didn't even do shopping for myself that month yet, but I said, "Duck it." I got the mother in touch with a social worker at my facility, and assured her they would not take her kids away. They would help her in the meantime until she got up on her feet. I still talk with the family, and the kids are doing fine. I know my situation is different from the OP's, and they did the right thing in not helping this woman. Look at how nasty she reacted. Now I have an extended family and 2 young ones to play Pokemon with. Card games on motorcycles. I was in a bicycle shop getting a repair done, and some lady in her 20s came up to me and asked me to buy her a bike. I am not very prosperous looking, so I cannot imagine what she was thinking. I used to ride the bus to work when I lived in Fairbanks, Alaska. At the bus stop, every morning, this Alaskan tribal native bum would bum a cigarette from me. Every single morning. One day I was out of smokes. He just kept asking, over and over again, and when I snapped at him that it was 2 days before payday, and I didn't have any ducking smokes, he pulls an almost full pack of Marlboros out of his pocket, and lights one up. Then calls me a stingy white mother ducker and stumbled off.